quick question. What time did you wake up this morning? Now, here's the real question. What did you actually accomplish before lunch? If you're like most people, you probably checked your phone, answered some messages, maybe watched a video or two, and suddenly it was noon. Sound familiar? Here's the crazy part. You were busy the whole morning, but what did you really do? Today, I'm going to teach you English phrases and vocabulary about time management, but more importantly, I'll show you why being busy and being productive are completely different things. Welcome to Artificial Fluency. I'm your teacher for today's special lesson, where we're tackling two things at once: improving your English and fixing that feeling of, where did my day go? Let's dive in. Let me teach you a really useful phrase in English. Spinning your wheels. When a car is stuck in mud, the wheels spin and spin, but the car doesn't move forward. That's what we call spinning your wheels. Lots of action, no progress. Here's how you use it. I was spinning my wheels all day with emails. Or stop spinning your wheels and focus on what matters. Now, why do we spin our wheels? Let me tell you what most people get wrong. They think they need more time. If only I had more hours in the day. But that's not true. Let me prove it to you. Think about the day before a vacation. Suddenly, you can finish a week's worth of work in one day. Why? Because you have a deadline. Because you're focused. Because you're not distracted. The problem isn't time. It's attention. Let me teach you this important distinction. I don't have time really means it's not my priority. I'm too busy really means I'm not organized. I forgot really means it wasn't important to me. Harsh? Maybe. True? Absolutely. Here's a grammar point for you. Notice how I used really means to explain the true meaning? This is a great structure for clarifying in English. When I say X, I really mean Y. That really means. What this really means is, you can use this in any conversation to explain yourself better. Now, let's learn the most important concept about time. Ready? Time is energy. Let me explain with an example. You have 8 hours of work time, but your energy is different throughout the day. In the morning, you might have 100% energy. By afternoon, maybe 60%. By evening, perhaps 30%. So here's the key question. What are you doing with your 100% energy time? Most people waste it. They check social media, read news, answer easy emails. Then, when their energy is low, they try to do important work. No wonder they feel exhausted and unproductive. Let's learn some vocabulary about energy levels. Peak hours. Your best energy time. Example, my peak hours are from 9 to 11 a.m. Energy drain. Something that takes your energy away. Example, social media is a real energy drain for me. Recharge. To get energy back. Example, I need to recharge with a short walk. Here's a practical tip with English practice. Every morning, ask yourself this question out loud in English. What's my most important task today? Not tasks, task. Singular, one thing. Then say, I will do this during my peak hours. This simple practice improves your English and your productivity. By the way, if you're finding this helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe. I create lessons like this every week to help you master English while learning useful life skills. Drop a comment. What time of day do you have the most energy? Now, let me teach you about the power of saying no. Here's something interesting about English culture. People often feel bad saying no directly. So, we have many polite ways to say it. Let me teach you some. Direct but polite. I'm sorry, I can't commit to that. Unfortunately, that doesn't work for me. I wish I could, but I can't. Softer refusals. Let me check my schedule and get back to you. This gives you time to think. I'm not the best person for this. My plate is full right now. This means you're too busy. Professional ways. I need to prioritize other commitments. That's outside my bandwidth right now. Bandwidth means capacity. I'm at capacity this week. But here's the important lesson. Every time you say yes to something small, you say no to something big. Let me give you an example. You say yes to checking Facebook for just 5 minutes. You say no to reading that English article. You say yes to a meeting that could be an email. You say no to deep work. You say yes to staying up late watching TV. You say no to waking up fresh tomorrow. Notice the grammar pattern here. You say yes to X. You say no to Y. This is a great way to show consequences in English. Try making your own sentences with this pattern. Here's a cultural note. In many English-speaking countries, saying no politely but firmly is respected. People prefer honest no over false yes. Remember this when you're in international settings. Let me teach you a game-changing concept, the Pomodoro technique. Pomodoro is Italian for tomato. The inventor used a tomato-shaped timer. Here's how it works. Work for 25 minutes. Take a 5-minute break. Repeat 4 times. Take a longer break, 15 to 30 minutes. But let's learn the English you need to talk about this. Time block, a scheduled period for specific work. I have a 2-hour time block for studying English. Break it down. Divide into smaller parts. Let's break down this project into smaller tasks. Chunk, a small piece of something bigger. I study English in 30-minute chunks. Batch, group similar tasks together. I batch all my emails into one time slot. Here's a common mistake English learners make. They say, I will study English 2 hours tomorrow. But native speakers more often say, I'll study English for 2 hours tomorrow. Don't forget that 4 when talking about duration. Another tip. Use present continuous for scheduled future activities. I'm studying English at 3 p.m. It's planned. I'm meeting my tutor tomorrow. It's arranged. This sounds more natural than I will study for planned activities. Let me give you a practical example. Instead of saying, "I'll improve my English," try this. "I'm practicing English for 25 minutes every morning at 8 a.m." See how specific that is? Specific plans become real actions.
Now, let's talk about routines. But first, let me clear up some confusion about this word. Routine, as a noun, means your regular pattern of doing things. Routine, as an adjective, means ordinary or boring. These are different. Having a routine, noun, doesn't make your life routine, adjective. In fact, it's the opposite. Let me teach you phrases about routines. Morning routine phrases. I start my day with, first thing in the morning, my morning ritual includes, I never skip my morning. Evening routine phrases. I wind down by, wind down means relax. Before bed, I always, my evening routine helps me. I end my day with. Here's a grammar tip. When describing routines, we use present simple. I wake up at 6 a.m., not I am waking up. I check my emails after breakfast, not I am checking. But here's where learners get confused. We use present continuous for temporary routines. I'm waking up at 6 a.m. this week. Temporary. I'm checking emails less often these days. Changing habit. Are you learning something new? Great! Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson. Comment below, what's one part of your daily routine? Write it in English for practice. Let me share a powerful routine formula with you. Host. Here's a profound truth. Your calendar doesn't lie. Where you spend your time shows your real priorities. Let's learn vocabulary about priorities. Top priority, most important thing. Learning English is my top priority. Back burner, low priority, like a pot on the back of the stove. I put social media on the back burner. Make time for, actively create time for something. I make time for English practice every day. Time sink, something that wastes lots of time. YouTube can be a real-time sink if I'm not careful. Now, here's an exercise. Complete these sentences honestly. I spend most of my time. I wish I had more time for. I waste time on. Your answers reveal everything. If you spend most of your time on social media but wish you had time for English, there's your problem and your solution. Let me teach you a useful phrase, vote with your time. In democracies, we vote with ballots. In life, we vote with our time. Every hour is a vote for what matters to you. Here's how to use it. I'm voting with my time by practicing English daily. Common mistake alert. Don't say, I have no time. Native speakers usually say, I don't have time for that. I can't fit that in. My schedule is packed. The phrase, I have no time, sounds too dramatic in everyday English. Let's make this real. I'm going to teach you a simple system you can start today, the 3-3-3 method. 3 hours of deep work, your important tasks. 3 hours of regular work, emails, meetings, routine tasks. 3 hours for yourself, exercise, hobbies, learning English for that matter. That's only 9 hours. You still have time for sleep, eating, and relaxing. Here's how to talk about this in English. I dedicate 3 hours to formal. I set aside 3 hours for common. I block out 3 hours for professional. Practice saying, tomorrow I'm blocking out 1 hour for English practice. Here's a fail vocabulary set about time management. Time conscious, aware of time. I'm becoming more time conscious. Deadline driven, motivated by deadlines. I work better when I'm deadline driven. Proactive versus reactive. Proactive is planning ahead. Reactive is always responding to urgencies. Say, I'm trying to be more proactive with my time. Let me leave you with this thought. Time management isn't about squeezing more into your day. It's about putting the right things in the right order. Here's your homework. 3 simple English sentences to practice every morning. What's my one important task today? When will I do it? And what will I say no to? These questions program your brain for success in English and in life. Remember these key phrases from today. Spinning your wheels, busy but not productive. Peak hours, best energy time. Make time for, actively create time. Vote with your time. Show priorities through actions. The truth is, you have the same 24 hours as everyone else. The difference? Some people use those hours intentionally. Others let those hours use them. Which will you choose? Your English improves the same way, not by finding more time, but by using your time better. Even 15 focused minutes beats 2 distracted hours. Thank you for spending these 20 valuable minutes with me. You chose to invest your time in learning, and that already makes you different from most people. If this helped you, please share it with someone who needs better English or better time management, or both. Subscribe for more lessons that teach English through real-life skills. Remember, you don't need more time. You need more focus. You don't need perfect English. You need consistent practice. This is Artificial Fluency, reminding you that every minute you invest in learning pays you back for life. See you in the next lesson, and this time, you'll be ready because you know how to manage your time. Now go make your next hour count.
Let me ask you something. How long have you been studying English? 6 months, a year, maybe even longer? Now, here's the real question. Do you actually feel more confident speaking English than when you started? If you just thought, not really, or I'm still scared to speak, you're not alone. In fact, you're in the majority. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why this happens, and more importantly, how to finally break through that invisible wall that's keeping you stuck. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Artificial Fluency. I'm your host, Emma, and today we're tackling the #1 problem that stops English learners from actually using their English: lack of confidence. But here's the thing. Confidence isn't what you think it is. Let me explain. Most people think confidence means never being nervous, never making mistakes, always knowing the perfect word. That's completely wrong. Let me teach you what confidence really means in English learning. Real confidence is this. It's believing you can handle a conversation even when you don't know every word. It's raising your hand to speak even though your heart is beating fast. It's saying, I don't understand. Can you explain that? Instead of pretending you got it. Let me give you a perfect example. Yesterday, one of my students, Maria, had to give a presentation at work. Her English isn't perfect. She still makes grammar mistakes, sometimes forgets words. But you know what? She stood up, she spoke clearly and slowly, and when she forgot a word, she simply said, "Sorry, what I mean is," and explained it another way. That is confidence. Now, compare that to another student, James. who has studied English for 5 years. His grammar is nearly perfect, but he never speaks in class, never joins conversations. Why? Because he's waiting to be ready. He's waiting for perfection. And you know what? He'll be waiting forever. Here's what I want you to understand. Confidence doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being okay with being imperfect. Write that down. Really, pause this video and write it down. This is the first mindset shift you need. Now, let's talk about why you feel stuck. There are 4 main barriers that keep English learners trapped, and I bet you're dealing with at least 2 of them right now. Barrier number 1, fear. This is the big one. Fear of making mistakes, fear of people laughing at you, fear of not understanding. But here's something interesting. Do you know what native English speakers fear most? Public speaking, even in their own language. So if you're nervous about speaking English, congratulations, you're normal. The problem is when fear becomes your boss, when fear decides whether you speak or stay silent. Let me teach you a useful phrase here. Feel the fear and do it anyway. This means, yes, you'll feel scared, but you do it despite the fear. The fear doesn't disappear. You just stop letting it control you. Barrier number 2, comparison. Oh, this one is painful. You hear someone speaking fluent English and think, I'll never be that good. Stop right there. You're comparing your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20. Of course they're better. They've been practicing longer. Here's a better comparison. Compare yourself today to yourself 6 months ago. Are you better? Even a little bit? Then you're winning. That's the only comparison that matters. Barrier number 3, negative self-talk. This is the voice in your head saying, your English is terrible. You sound stupid. Everyone will judge you. Would you talk to your best friend like that? No? Then why do you talk to yourself that way? Let me teach you a technique. When you hear that negative voice, imagine it's coming from a mean cartoon character, maybe an angry little mouse. Suddenly, it seems less powerful, right? You can even give it a silly name. Oh, there goes negative Nancy again. This helps you separate from those thoughts. Barrier number 4, past experiences. Maybe someone laughed at your English once. Maybe you froze during a presentation. These memories become like heavy backpacks. You carry them everywhere and they slow you down. But here's the truth. That was then. This is now. Every day you get a fresh start. Every conversation is a new opportunity. You are not your past mistakes. You are your future possibilities. By the way, if this is already helping you, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps me create more lessons like this, and comment below, which barrier is your biggest challenge? Let's support each other. Okay, now for the good part. How to actually build confidence. I'm going to give you a 3-step formula that really works. I've seen it transform hundreds of students. Step 1, fix your mindset. First, you need to understand something about your brain. Your brain is like Google. It finds whatever you search for. If you keep thinking, I can't speak English, your brain searches for proof that you can't. But if you think, I'm improving my English, your brain finds proof of improvement. So here's your homework for mindset. Every morning, say these 3 sentences out loud. I am capable of learning English. Every mistake helps me improve. I have something valuable to say. Say them even if you don't believe them yet. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's true and what you repeat often enough. This is called affirmation, and it literally rewires your brain over time. Also, let me teach you about growth mindset versus fixed mindset. Fixed mindset says, I'm bad at English. Growth mindset says, I'm not good at English yet. See that little word, yet? It changes everything. Start adding yet to your sentences. I don't understand this yet. I can't speak fluently yet. Step 2. Take daily action. Confidence isn't built by thinking about it. It's built by doing. But here's the key. Start ridiculously small. I mean really small. Day 1, say good morning in English to yourself in the mirror. Day 2, read one English sentence out loud. Day 3, leave one YouTube comment in English. Day 4, ask one question in English, even to yourself. Day 5, have a 30-second conversation in English, even with your pet. See how small these are? That's on purpose. Success builds confidence, and small successes count. Also, let's talk about body language. When you speak English, stand up straight, make eye contact, smile. Your body teaches your brain how to feel. If your body is confident, your brain follows. Here's a secret technique. Before any English conversation, do what I call the Superman pose. Stand with your feet apart, hands on your hips, chin up for 2 minutes. This actually changes your hormones. It reduces stress and increases confidence. Science has proven this. Step 3. Create your environment. You've probably heard you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If those 5 people tell you your English is bad, guess what you'll believe? But if those 5 people encourage you, practice with you, celebrate your progress, everything changes. So here's what you do. Join an online English learning group. There are thousands on Facebook. Find one practice partner, just one. Follow English learning accounts that encourage you. Limit time with people who make you feel bad about your English. Stop reading negative comments online. And here's something powerful. Help someone else with their English. Even if you're a beginner, you know something someone else doesn't. Teaching others builds your confidence faster than anything else.
Let me tell you about Ahmed, one of our community members. 6 months ago, Ahmed couldn't order coffee in English without sweating. He knew the words, but froze every time. Here's what he did. He started with my 3-step formula. For mindset, he wrote, "I can do this," on a sticky note and put it on his bathroom mirror. For action, he practiced ordering coffee at home, literally standing in his kitchen, pretending to order. For environment, he found one English-speaking friend online to practice with for 5 minutes every day. Last week, Ahmed led a meeting in English at his company. Not perfect English, confident English. There's a huge difference. Now, let me give you some practical phrases that build confidence. These are simple but powerful. When you don't understand. Could you say that again, please? Sorry, I didn't catch that. Can you speak a bit slower? When you forget a word, how do you say, explain the concept? I forgot the word, but I mean, it's like, give an example. When you make a mistake, let me try that again. Sorry, what I meant was, actually, I should say, see, these phrases show you're learning, not that you're failing. Native speakers use these phrases too. Are you finding this helpful? Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next lesson. And comment one thing you'll do today to build your confidence. Let's keep each other accountable.
Now let's learn some essential vocabulary about confidence. But I won't just give you definitions. I'll show you how to actually use these words. Embarrassed, feeling uncomfortable or ashamed. Example, I felt embarrassed when I said the wrong word. But here's the thing. Embarrassment lasts maybe 30 seconds. The learning lasts forever. So it's actually a good trade. Struggle, to have difficulty doing something. Example, I struggle with pronunciation. Remember, every English speaker struggled at first. Even native speakers struggled to learn their own language as babies. Barrier, something that blocks your progress. Example, fear is my biggest barrier. Think of barriers like walls. Every wall has a door. You just need to find it. Mindset, the way you think about your abilities. Example, I'm working on my growth mindset. Your mindset is like glasses. It changes how you see everything. Make sure you're wearing the right glasses. Judge, to form an opinion, often negative. Example, I'm afraid people will judge my English. Truth, most people are too busy worrying about themselves to judge you. And if they do judge, that says more about them than about you. Improve, to get better. Example, I improve a little bit every day. Improvement is like climbing stairs. You don't notice each step, but suddenly you're on a different floor. Okay, let's make this real. I'm giving you a 7-day confidence challenge. Each day has one small task. Ready? Day 1. Write down 3 things you can do in English, even simple things. Day 2. Record yourself speaking English for 30 seconds. Don't share it, just listen. Day 3. Compliment someone in English. Online counts. Day 4. Ask for help in English. Even, what time is it? Day 5. Share one opinion in English. Comment on a post. Day 6. Make one mistake on purpose and correct yourself. Day 7. Have a 2-minute conversation in English with anyone about anything. That's it. 7 small steps. But by day 7, you'll feel different. I promise. Here's what I want you to remember. Every fluent English speaker was once where you are now. Every single one. They felt scared. They made mistakes. They wanted to give up. But they didn't, and neither will you. Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's not about knowing everything. It's about being curious to learn more. It's not about never falling. It's about always getting back up. Your English journey is exactly that. Your journey. Stop comparing. Stop waiting. Stop doubting. Start speaking. Start trying. Start believing. You have something valuable to say. The world needs to hear your voice in whatever English you have today. Because your imperfect English sharing your unique ideas is infinitely more valuable than perfect English saying nothing. Remember, you're not building confidence. You're uncovering the confidence that's already inside you. It's been there all along, waiting for you to let it shine. Thank you for spending these 20 minutes with me. If this helped you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more real, practical English lessons. And remember, you've got this. I believe in you. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep speaking. This is artificial fluency, reminding you that every word you speak is a victory. See you in the next lesson.
Welcome to English Listening Practice. I'm Taylor, and over the next 30 minutes, we're going to dramatically improve your ability to understand real English conversations. This episode is designed for B1 to C1 learners who want to bridge the gap between textbook English and the way native speakers actually talk. Today's episode features 5 different listening passages, each with a unique challenge. You'll hear different accents, various speeding speeds, and authentic language, including idioms, phrasal verbs, and connected speech. After each passage, I'll guide you through comprehension questions and highlight key vocabulary. Here's a pro tip. Don't worry if you don't understand everything on the first listen. Native speakers often miss things too. Focus on getting the main ideas first, then the details will come with practice. Let's warm up your ears with a quick exercise. I'll say a sentence at normal speed, then break it down. Ready? What are you going to do when you've finished? Did you catch that? Let me say it slowly. What are you going to do when you have finished? Notice how in natural speech, what are becomes whatter, going to becomes gonna, and you have becomes you've. This is the real English we're practicing today. Our first listening passage is a conversation between 2 colleagues discussing a job interview. You'll hear British and American accents mixed together. Listen for the main points. How did the interview go? What challenges did they face? What's the next step? Here we go. Marcus, American. Hey, Sophie, I've been dying to hear. How'd your interview go yesterday? Sophie, British. Oh, Marcus, it was intense, to say the least. I was there for nearly 3 hours. Marcus, American. 3 hours? That's insane. What did they have you doing? Building a rocket? Sophie, British. Laughs. Felt like it. First, there was the panel interview, 4 people firing questions at me, then a technical test, and finally a presentation I had to prepare on the spot. Marcus, American. Whoa, talk about putting you through your paces. How'd you handle the pressure? Sophie, British. The panel interview went brilliantly, actually. They asked about my experience with project management, and I used that STAR method you taught me. You know, the situation, task, action, result. They seemed really impressed when I talked about the Morrison account turnaround. Marcus, American. That's awesome. I knew that would come in handy. What about the technical test? Sophie, British. That's where things got a bit dodgy. They threw in some curveball questions about software I haven't used in years. I was honest about it, though, said I'd need to brush up, but that I'm a quick learner. Marcus, American. Honesty is always the best policy. They probably appreciated that. And the presentation? Sophie, British. They gave me 30 minutes to prepare a pitch for a hypothetical client. My hands were literally shaking, but once I got going, I found my rhythm. I even made them laugh a couple of times. Marcus, American. That's huge. Humor can really seal the deal. When will you hear back? Sophie, British. They said early next week. The waiting is going to kill me. The head of department mentioned they're interviewing 12 people for just 2 positions. Marcus, American. 12 for 2? That's rough competition. But hey, you've got this. You're exactly what they're looking for. Sophie, British. Thanks, Marcus. Fingers crossed. If I don't get it, at least it was brilliant practice. The feedback alone was worth it. Marcus, American. That's the spirit. Want to grab coffee and debrief properly? I want to hear every detail. Sophie, British. Absolutely. Your treat if I get the job? Marcus, American, laughs. Deal. But I'm confident I'll be buying that coffee.
Okay, let's check your comprehension. Think about these questions. First, How long was Sophie's interview? The answer? Nearly 3 hours. Second, what 3 components did the interview have? Answer: a panel interview, a technical test, and a presentation. Third, how many positions are available and how many people are interviewing? Answer: 2 positions, 12 candidates. Let's look at some key phrases. Dying to hear means very eager to know something. Put through your paces means to test someone's abilities thoroughly. Dodgy, British slang meaning uncertain or risky. Curveball questions, unexpected, difficult questions. Seal the deal. Finalize something successfully. Notice the connected speech. How'd your interview go? How did becomes how'd. Going to kill me. Going to becomes gonna. Now let's challenge ourselves with a news report. This features more formal language and technical vocabulary. Listen for what new technology is being discussed. What are its benefits? What concerns are raised? Good evening. Tonight, we're examining a groundbreaking development in carbon capture technology that could revolutionize our approach to climate change. Our science correspondent, Jennifer Walsh, has this special report. Thank you, Richard. I'm here at the University of Cambridge, where researchers have unveiled what they're calling a game changer in the fight against global warming. The team, led by Professor David Chen, has developed a new material that can absorb CO2 from the atmosphere at unprecedented rates. Professor Chen, what we've created is essentially a super sponge for carbon dioxide. Our metal organic framework, or MOF, can capture CO2 molecules while allowing other gases to pass through freely. What's particularly exciting is that it works at room temperature and requires minimal energy to release the captured CO2 for storage. The implications are staggering. Current carbon capture technologies are energy-intensive and expensive, limiting their widespread adoption. This new material could reduce costs by up to 75% while increasing efficiency threefold. However, not everyone's convinced. Dr. Sarah Martinez from the Environmental Policy Institute raises some concerns. Dr. Martinez, while this technology is undoubtedly impressive, we need to be cautious about viewing it as a silver bullet. There's a risk that breakthrough technologies like this could be used to justify continued fossil fuel consumption rather than addressing the root cause of emissions. We call this the moral hazard problem. The research team acknowledges these concerns, but argues that we need every tool available in our climate arsenal. Professor Chen, we're facing a climate emergency that requires both immediate emission reductions and active removal of existing atmospheric CO2. This technology doesn't replace renewable energy or conservation efforts, it complements them. We're looking at scaling up production and, if successful, we could see industrial applications within 3 to 5 years. The technology has already attracted significant investment. Tech billionaire James Morrison announced a $500 million fund specifically for carbon capture technologies, with this Cambridge team receiving the first major grant. The question now isn't whether this technology works, it clearly does. The challenge is scaling it up quickly enough to make a meaningful impact on global emissions. For BBC News, I'm Jennifer Walsh in Cambridge. Fascinating developments there. Coming up after the break. Let's test your understanding. What type of material did the researchers develop? A metal organic framework, or MOF, that acts like a super sponge for CO2. What's the cost reduction potential of this technology? Up to 75% cost reduction. What concern does Dr. Martinez raise? The moral hazard problem, that this technology might justify continued fossil fuel use. Key vocabulary. Game changer. Something that completely changes how something is done. Unprecedented. Never seen or done before. Staggering. Shocking or amazing. Silver bullet. A simple solution to a complex problem. Moral hazard. When protection from risk encourages riskier behavior. This next passage is a customer service call with background noise, interruptions, and informal language. Listen for, what's the customer's problem? What solutions are offered? How is it resolved?
Good afternoon, Tech Support Plus. This is Raj speaking. How may I assist you today? Hi there, Raj. I'm having a nightmare with my internet connection. It's been cutting in and out all week, and I work from home, so this is really affecting my livelihood. I completely understand how frustrating that must be, sir. Let me pull up your account. Can I have your account number or the phone number associated with your service? Sure. It's 555-0147. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Thompson, I can see your account here. You're on our premium fiber plan, is that correct? That's right, yeah. Premium's a bit of a joke, though, considering the service lightly. I sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. I can see there have been some intermittent connectivity issues logged. Let me run a diagnostic on your line. While that's running, can you tell me when these disconnections typically occur? It's totally random. Sometimes it's fine for hours, then boom, drops out for like 10, 15 minutes. Yesterday, it happened right in the middle of a presentation to clients. I look like a complete amateur.
That's absolutely unacceptable, and I'm truly sorry that happened. The diagnostic is showing some signal degradation on your line. Mr. Thompson, have you noticed any construction work in your area recently?
Actually, yeah. They've been digging up the road about 2 blocks away. You think that's related?
It's very possible. Construction can sometimes damage underground cables. I'm seeing here that there's a reported infrastructure issue in your area that's scheduled for repair. However, I don't want you to wait any longer. I have 2 immediate solutions for you. I'm all ears. First, I can send a technician to your property tomorrow between 2 and 4 p.m. to check your internal connections and potentially reroute your service through a different line. Second, as compensation for this inconvenience, I'd like to offer you a portable 5G hotspot free of charge until your main connection is stable. We'll also credit your account for the past week of service issues.
Oh wow, I wasn't expecting that. The hotspot would be a lifesaver. Can you guarantee it'll work better than my current connection?
The 5G hotspot provides a completely independent connection, so it won't be affected by the cable issues. It should give you speeds of 50 to 100 Mbps, which is perfect for video calls and regular work. I can have it couriered to you today for arrival by 6 p.m.
That's actually fantastic, Raj. And the technician tomorrow?
Yes, sir. They'll do a comprehensive check and have authorization to implement any fixes needed at no charge to you. You'll also receive a text an hour before they arrive. Is 2 to 4 p.m. suitable?
Perfect. Raj, you've turned my whole day around. I was ready to cancel everything and switch providers. We absolutely don't want to lose you as a customer, Mr. Thompson. Your satisfaction is our priority. The hotspot will arrive today, the technician tomorrow, and you'll see a credit of $89.99 on your next bill. Is there anything else I can help you with? No, that's everything. Thanks for actually listening and solving the problem, instead of just reading from a script. It's my pleasure, sir. You'll receive an email confirmation of everything we've discussed. Have a wonderful day.
Comprehension check. What's been happening with the customer's internet? Cutting in and out intermittently all week. What 2 solutions did Raj offer? A technician visit tomorrow and a free 5G hotspot delivered today. What compensation will the customer receive? An $89.99 credit on a next bill. Useful phrases. Having a nightmare. Experiencing serious problems. I'm all ears. I'm listening carefully. Turn something around. Completely change a situation. Reading from a script, giving rehearsed, impersonal responses. This passage is from a university lecture on behavioral economics. It features academic vocabulary, complex ideas, and a Scottish accent. Listen for the main theory being explained and the examples used.
Right then, continuing our exploration of cognitive biases, today we're examining what's arguably the most pervasive bias affecting human decision-making, the availability heuristic. Now, before we dive deep, can anyone recall what we mean by heuristic? No? Well, a heuristic is essentially a mental shortcut, a rule of thumb our brains use to make quick decisions without extensive analysis. Usually these serve us well, but sometimes they lead us astray. The availability heuristic, first identified by Tversky and Kahneman in the 1970s, describes our tendency to overestimate the likelihood of events that come easily to mind. In other words, if you can readily recall examples of something happening, you'll think it's more common than it actually is. Let me illustrate with a classic example. Which do you think causes more deaths annually in the United States? Shark attacks or falling aeroplane parts? Most people immediately say shark attacks. Why? Because shark attacks make headlines. They're dramatized in films. They're memorable and frightening. But here's the thing. Statistically, you're 30 times more likely to be killed by falling aeroplane parts. The availability heuristic has skewed your risk assessment. This bias has profound implications for how we navigate modern life. Consider how media coverage affects our perception of crime. Despite crime rates falling consistently over the past 3 decades in most developed nations, surveys show people believe crime is increasing. Why? Because every violent crime gets extensive media coverage, making these events highly available in our memory. The business world exploits this bias constantly. Insurance companies know that after highly publicized natural disasters, people overestimate the risk and purchase more coverage than statistically warranted. Marketing teams use vivid testimonials rather than statistics because personal stories are more available to our memory than abstract numbers. But here's where it gets really interesting and somewhat concerning.
Social media has essentially weaponized the availability heuristic. Algorithms show us content similar to what we've previously engaged with, creating echo chambers where certain types of information become hyper-available while others virtually disappear. This doesn't just affect our shopping habits, it shapes our political views, our understanding of social issues, even our perception of what's normal or acceptable behaviour. So, how do we combat this bias? Well, awareness is the first step. Simply knowing about the availability heuristic helps you recognise when it might be influencing your judgment. Second, actively seek out base rate information, actual statistics rather than memorable anecdotes. Third, and this is crucial, diversify your information sources. If all your information comes from similar sources, you're amplifying the bias rather than correcting for it. Remember, our brains evolved for a world where immediate, memorable dangers were often the most serious threats. A rustling in the bushes that might be a predator deserved our full attention. But in today's information-saturated world, the most available information isn't necessarily the most accurate or important.
Let's check your understanding. What is the availability heuristic? The tendency to overestimate the likelihood of events that easily come to mind. What example shows people are 30 times more at risk than they think? Falling airplane parts cause more deaths than shark attacks. How does social media amplify this bias? Algorithms create echo chambers by showing similar content repeatedly. Academic vocabulary. Pervasive. Present everywhere. Rule of thumb. Practical guideline. Lead astray. Cause to make errors. Skewed. Distorted or biased. Warranted. Justified or necessary. Echo chambers. Environments where similar views are reinforced. Our final passage is the most challenging. A casual conversation between 4 friends at a restaurant with overlapping speech, interruptions, and colloquialisms. Listen for what are they planning? What disagreement occurs? Guys, before we order, can we please sort out Lisa's birthday thing? It's in 2 weeks and we've literally done nothing. Oh shoot, that's right. Wasn't Tom supposed to? Hey, don't pin this on me. I said I'd help, not organize the whole thing. Classic Tom. Okay, let's think. What about that escape room place downtown? Lisa's always going on about wanting to try one. Ooh, that's actually perfect. She mentioned it again last week. But wait, how many people are we talking? Well, there's us 4, obviously. Then her sister, her boyfriend. Don't forget the work crowd. She's pretty tight with them now. Whoa, hold up. If we invite the work people, we're looking at like 15, maybe 20 people. Escape rooms max out at what, 8? 6, actually. I checked their website last month for my cousin's thing. So that's out then. Unless we could book multiple rooms and make it a competition. Now you're talking. That would be epic! Losing team buys drinks after. I don't know, guys. That sounds super complicated to coordinate. Plus, it's gonna cost a fortune. These places are like $40 a head. Olivia's got a point. What if we just did something low-key? Dinner somewhere nice, then drinks at that new rooftop bar. Boring! It's her 30th, not her 60th. We need to do something memorable. What about... Pause for effect. Surprise karaoke party. Tom, no. What? She loves karaoke. She loves doing karaoke when she's drunk with just us, not in front of her boss and